Welcome back, everyone. It is tier list day. And today we're doing a little bit different thing. We're going to go through 2000s childhood nostalgia and we're going to tier list it. Now, this is going to have a lot of stories and memories, and if you're a 2000s 90s baby, I really think you're going to enjoy this. I looked at some of the items here and it brought back so many memories, and I think it will bring back a lot of memories for you too. Before we hop into it, don't forget to subscribe or I'm going to fight your dad. And if not your dad, probably just you. Please subscribe. Thank you. Okay, so first things first, I updated this tier list to double S tier, S, A, B, C, D, F, and then don't know. So we have a little bit more variety than what was here originally. I think there was only like 3 or 4 options. So we can really dive into what we loved and hated as a child. So first things first, we got pillow pets. Now, I had a penguin pillow pet. For those of you who don't know me, I love penguins. Not within arm's reach, but over there I have about 7 or 8 chubby penguins. And down on the floor right there, that is a penguin. There is no penguins over there, but I got a lot of penguins. And I had a penguin pillow pet. And if you don't know what pillow pets are, so basically like you fold them together and Velcro the bottom, and it's your pet. It's like your stuffed animal. And then you unfold it and you flip that bitch around and it's a pillow. Genius, right? Gotta love it. Lego. I think Lego for most people is a high thing, especially like those 90s, 2000s. Like it really was. Like I didn't know many kids who didn't have Legos or a form of Lego like the Power Block or whatever it was, or Lincoln Logs, whatever it was, because like before Lego got expensive, they used to have just like cheap little like $4 or $5 little things you could build, and it was super fun and creative. And I mean, now they got shit that's crazy. Like I would love to. I played with Legos, but I never did anything like actual like building. I would love to get like one of those Star Destroyers or Death Stars or whatever it is, and like try and build it. It's like 8,000 pieces or something like that. When I was younger, I would just get like the small ones and then put them all together and just like build whatever I wanted. I never actually built things. I assume that this is just a Pixar everything. Pixar for me was a big part of my childhood. I mean, I'm sure if I could get a hold of one of my parents, they would say how much I would just rewatch some movies like Toy Story and all that shit. And there's Monsters Inc., Wall-E on here, Cars. I mean, they're all great. Pixar's still producing good content to this day. Furbies, man. I had a Furby. They fucking freaked me out, man. I'm not gonna lie. They scared the shit out of me. I don't know what it was about Furbies, but I don't know. They just creepy. Their eyes move like really weird and they make weird noises. Furbies are just weird. Pizza Lunchables I still eat to this day, and goddamn it, they're the best goddamn snack meal, whatever you want to call it, on this earth. I love Pizza Lunchables. Pokemon cards, absolutely. Even till this day, like within arm's reach, I have thousands and thousands of dollars worth of Pokemon cards. Like Pokemon, there's a reason it's so good. The games, the movies, the TV show, everything that Pokemon has done has been good. Webkins, I don't know. I don't know why Skechers are on here. I don't like Skechers are still make shoes. Like my last pair of work shoes were Skechers. I don't got no problem with Skechers. I don't really get nostalgia with Skechers, but I like their shoes. High C was so good. I don't know if you can still get it or not, but it was just like straight up sugar and processed garbage. It's so bad for you, but it tasted so good. MySpace. MySpace for me, I got on in like 7th or 8th grade, and it was right when Facebook really started growing and MySpace was really fading out. Like none of my friends had a MySpace really, like a couple of them. Most of my friends had Facebooks at that point. Like it just MySpace was great though. I think it was like one of the best social medias when looking back, because it wasn't crazy and wild like social media is today. It was just simple music, simpleness, fun. These little bracelets, these bring back a lot of nostalgia. So when you put them on your wrist, they just look like a normal bracelet. And then when you take them off, it's like animals and shit. And I don't remember what they're called, but I had a ton of them. There's tons at my elementary. A lot of fun. This is tough because YouTube for me was ginormous. Like I got on YouTube in 2007, and I primarily only really watch YouTube still to this day. And there's people that I still follow from that time period. But what they show on here, I don't like any of these. I never got into Smosh. I can't remember this kid's name. He was not my demographic, and Annoying Orange was not my demographic. I mean, it was. They were trying to target me, but I hated it. Thought it was annoying. But YouTube, in general, was my childhood. Well, not my childhood. My 7th grade and on. Blockbuster. I better check this before we do to make sure the other one's not on here. So I'm just going to consider Blockbuster and Hollywood Video and all that stuff as the same idea, right? It's that let's go to the rental movie store and pick out movies for the week. I have so many memories with my parents of going to Hollywood Video, which I don't know if that's a big brand or not. I guess it could have just been local. I don't think so though. And we would walk around the whole entire store, and like if you guys remember during that time, like they would have like a section with a bunch of the DVDs, and then there would be like the covers, and then you'd have to like see if there's one behind the cover, like a box. That means that they were in stock. If there wasn't, that means they were all out of stock and you're shit out of luck. Man, we went to Hollywood Video like twice a week for years and years, and they had gaming sections. Like when we first started going to Hollywood Video, there was like Nintendo 64 renting. Like, oh dude, I used to rent a Duck Dodgers game all the time, Mario Tennis, Mario Golf. There's like 4 or 5 other ones, and then like it branched into Xbox and PlayStation. So many good memories, man. So many. Kids Bop. I never liked Kids Bop. I remember the commercials. I had zero interest in ever getting into it. Snuggies. Snuggies are kind of fucking great. Still, I don't know. I had a Snuggie. I don't know if they still make them, but they're just oversized blanket sweaters, pretty much. Build-A-Bear. I've never done it, but I've known people who done it. I don't know. Seems cool. PlayStation. PlayStation is amazing. Still to this day. I mean, I could sit here and talk to you about all the fucking PlayStation memories I have. Like watching my dad play Gran Turismo, sneaking to play GTA, Vice City. Maybe that was PlayStation 2. I don't know. One of my favorite games of all time is called Vital Hearts. On the PlayStation. It's like a JRPG. It's so good. Still to this day, I love it. And then obviously PlayStation all the way to PlayStation 5. Like so many good games. Same with Nintendo. Like when we're talking about nostalgia, for me, like these are it. You know, I grew up like the first console I ever got was a Nintendo 64. Had it in my room, played it every single day of my life for years. Got a PlayStation 2, got an Xbox 360, like GameCube. Dude, the hours that I've spent on the GameCube is unreal. Between Mario Kart Double Dash and Pikmin. Oh, man. When the Wii came out, everyone loved Wii Sports. Like, it's so good, man. Microsoft Windows. Depends on who you're asking. Is this Vista? Vista was awful, and I had to use Vista for several years of my life. Club Penguin, we already talked about Penguins earlier. Club Penguin is BIS. Everyone loves Club Penguin. Let's see here. Littlest Pet Shop. I don't know that. This genre of Disney was not me. I didn't like Hannah Montana. I didn't like Phineas and Ferb. I didn't like Sweet Life of Zach and Cody. I think I was a little bit too old for those ones because I was watching like Drake and Josh and Ned's Declassified. There's a couple other ones like The Amanda Show. I liked those way more than any of those, and I think that when those started getting really popular was like several years after, and like I was a little too old for like Hannah Montana. The little beans, I mean, they're cool until you get them. I don't know if you remember them. They're little. They had the commercials where it's like these little beans and they'll roll and they have like cool little faces on them, and then like you could build like tracks and they would like roll down the tracks and stuff. And it was really silly. Like I remember begging my parents for them, and then I got them and I played with them like twice and they were dumb. Roblox for me, like, okay, I know Roblox, but I never got into Roblox, so I don't feel like it's fair to rate these. Nerf, dude, I absolutely love Nerf. I've had Nerf guns my whole life. Nerf is so fun, and I feel so bad as a kid because I used to just shoot my cats. Like, I don't do it anymore, obviously, because it's rude and that's abusive and shit. But man, I was an only child, and there was times I was at my house alone, and sometimes those cats got shot with Nerf guns, and I feel bad about it, but I loved having Nerf guns. iPods. I remember when I got my first Nano, it was like 1 gigabyte. I still have it. It's in a drawer somewhere here. God, dude, that was back when like you had to pay like $1 for every single song you wanted, and there's a wild west of the iPod. Chia Pets, dude, Chia Pets slap. There's no way it's better than iPods, right? I liked Chia Pets. I had lots of Chia Pets. Bob Ross one. I had this Hedgehog one. Like, Chia Pets were fun. I don't know what these are called, but I love them. The little like pin pad things that you could like push your hand into and put it on your face, and then it leaves the indentation of your face. Love those things. I need to buy one again. Ronald's Playhouse, absolute garbage, dude. Like the couple times that I ever, as a kid, were to go to those playhouses. Now, there was a time where the McDonald's that's local to me, their playhouse area not only had Nintendo 64s, but they had like the basketball shoot hoop thing. That was cool. But when you start getting into like the jungle gym shit, dude, I can't tell you how many times like crawling around that, and there's like shit and piss and like gross just germs. Like, dude, oh. Looking back on it, I mean, I think they still exist, but like, dude, they were wild, and I remember like seeing some weird shit, like kids who were like a little too old would be hanging out in there and like doing weird shit. Like, I remember specifically at the same McDonald's, there was like, because like it's just like a weird like socializing thing, right? Like the parents like sit there, you eat, and then you go play, and like all these kids like you don't know them, so you're all trying to mingle. And, like there was just weird games. I remember like getting locked into one of the bubbles, and like these kids were like holding this like pad against the wall, so like 3 or 4 of us couldn't get out, and like felt like I was like dying because there was no oxygen. It was shit show. Chuck E. Cheese, I don't have any fond memories of Chuck E. Cheese. The only 2 times I went to Chuck E. Cheese, both were disasters. Like they were just awful parties. The pizza sucked ass. Like the games are boring. Like Chuck E. Cheese really just wasn't it. Toontown, I am not familiar with that. Gushers still slap to this day. I don't care what anybody says. Gushers are great. DreamWorks, man. DreamWorks during the 2000s absolutely smacked. Like, I think they still do. They still make good movies. But Shrek, Madagascar, Kung Fu Panda, dude, those movies were... Shrek was so pivotal. Like, we joke around, and Shrek is still meme to this day. But, like, dude, it was everything when it came out. I mean, it came out, like, what, 2000? It was everything. Everyone knew what Shrek was. Everyone was quoting Shrek. Everyone was dressing up as Shrek for the holidays. Like, dude, Shrek was the thing. It's crazy. Kid Cuisines. Yo, I ate a couple Kid Cuisines during the day. The brownies with sprinkles. That shit smacked. Toys R Us. I know. I'm probably going to get some heat for this one. I didn't like Toys R Us's because the 2 or 3 times I went, I, like, as a kid, I never really like, I didn't ever feel like I needed to act crazy. Like I knew that like if I acted good, I got rewarded by it. Okay. And when I went to Toys R Us, like I would just see all these kids who were like my age, and they were just like screaming and yelling for like this like dumb little shit. And like my parents are always like, "Yeah, this is why we don't come here," because it's like it looks bad. Like I don't. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I need to ask my parents, but I don't think I ever like screamed for anything once. Because like what? Why? Oh, dude. Okay, these are weird. These are called Zoo Pals, and the marketing on these things were so good. Their little jingle stayed in my head for like 10 years. Dude, like I would just randomly have memories of like the Zoo Pals thing. Because it went oink, oink, Zoo Pals, ribbit, ribbit, Zoo Pals. Like, dude, just on this repeat. Like, I could still remember it to this day, and I don't even know if these things still exist. I hated it. I hated it. Now it's going to be stuck in my head for the next fucking 10 years again. Okay, we got to talk about these. I always see these fucking, like, nostalgia corner or, like, go in the past, like, you click on a thread and it's, like, hundreds of items from your childhood. And everyone always says, gym class always hit harder when these came out. I thought these were the worst days. These and these were the absolute worst days in my head. Because I didn't get it. Like, these are so boring. Well, we sit on them and we scoot around for an hour. It's boring. Let's play fucking dodgeball. Let's play capture the flag. Let's go play football or baseball or whatever. Let's go do something fun. I don't want to scoot around all day. Like, I hated it. I don't get it. And same with this. Like, even when I was young, I was like, oh, so we're going to lift this thing up and then crawl under it and make like a bubble and then giggle. Why? It's dumb. It's boring. Those are the worst days in gym class. I don't want to fucking run around and do some fun shit. Kid pics, I don't know. Okay, these little robot dog things are cool, and I actually still have one that's in the box somewhere, and it's like $200 now. It's pretty cool. Pop Tropica, I don't know what that is. Cartoon Network was huge for my childhood, and so is Nickelodeon. If it's not on here, that's kind of a... Yeah, Nickelodeon's not on here. That's kind of disgraceful. Dude, Cartoon Network. Now, not specifically these ones. Billy and Mandy and Foster's for sure. But I'm talking like that early 90s where like the like afternoon lineup was Ed, Edd n Eddy, Powerpuff Girls, Johnny Bravo, Dexter's Laboratory, Tom and Jerry. Like you get all the Acme, Bugs and Daffy Duck? Donald Duck? Daffy Duck. It's been a while, guys. And you get all those cartoons, dude. Oh, that's when cartoons were so like. Don't get me wrong, I'm not the boomer type. Like your cartoons suck nowadays. Like Adventure Time, fucking smacks. Like I don't care what anyone says, but I'm a little disappointed in the animation nowadays because like a lot of them are just the same reskins. Where back then I felt like it was all really unique. And I've tried to go back and rewatch some of them. Some of them are still great. Like Johnny Bravo, I feel like is more funny now, but probably problematic. Ed, Edd n Eddy, though, I always... Oh, how could I forget Courage? Oh! But Ed, Edd n Eddy was so... I loved that show. That was like my favorite cartoon. I told everyone that was my favorite cartoon. Going back and rewatching it, boy, I'll tell you what. Those guys were doing some heavy drugs or something. And Courage the Cowardly Dog, man. I think arguably people would probably, like on average, I feel like people would probably say that's the best cartoon during that time period. The animation was amazing. It was like this perfect mix of scary, creepy, but funny. Oh, so good. Cartoon Network has a place in my heart for life. I don't know what this little contraption is. Oh, Nickelodeon right there. Yeah, perfect. Fairly Odd Parents, SpongeBob, Jimmy Neutron, iCarly was good, Drake and Josh, Zoe 101, Ned's Declassified. Dude, just so many good shows. Ah, man. It's so crazy thinking back. Like, my days were so weird. Like, I would go to school, and, like, I enjoyed school. And school was good for me because I was an only child, so, like, going to school, I learned how to make friends with most people. And I still use that to this day. Like, most people I get along with. And, dude, I remember life was just so simpler. Like, go to school, do schoolwork, come home, and it was either baseball, video games, or cartoons. And it was just, I loved it. And, like, I still try to hold on to it now. Like, I still try to be, what's the word? Like, the never grow up thing, right? Like, growing up's important and having responsibility and doing those types of things, but I feel like too many people lose grasp on what made them happy originally, and they let it go for really dumb reasons. And I've refused to do that. I've tried to change my life, and I ended up being miserable because I let go of things that genuinely make me happy. And for what reason? Because other people say that I should, or it's not. I don't know. It's just sad. Let's see here. What's this next one? I can't even really read that. Yeah, I don't know what those are. Zoo Hamster. Looks pretty cool though. Light Brights. Light Brights were cool. Light Brights were a really good, like, a good thing for me because I was very not artistic, and those, like, allowed me to kind of be artistic. Xbox, yeah, we'll put Xbox up here. Xbox is big for me because I've made so many friends through Xbox. Like, all my friends would come over and hang out in this room, and we would play Halo and Gears of War and all that type of stuff. Like, me and my best friend growing up, his name was Austin. We got into Gears of War together, and it was funny because the two main characters were, like, these kind of big, heavy set white dude and brown dude, and we were a white dude and a brown dude, and, like, it just, like, and we didn't even mean this for to happen, but when we started playing, like, it was my house, my Xbox. You kind of know, like, gamer rule, like, you're always player one, and then, like, your friends are always the player two. And, like, when we started, it just, like, happened to be that Marcus was player one and Dom was player two, and we were like, oh, this is like it was meant to be. Neopets. I did like Neopets quite a bit. I played a lot of Neopets growing up. It was like a Club Penguin alternative. Heelys. A lot of people loved Heelys. I had one pair of Heelys, and I busted my ass multiple times, and I just wasn't good on those, but they were cool. Twitter. It's tough to say because, like, I didn't get on Twitter until much later, and now it's a whole different thing. AOL Instant Messenger, I never got into that. Windows Live Messenger, I never got into that. I never had a BlackBerry. The early days of Facebook were fun for me because, like, especially going into high school, I had some pretty wild friends. One of them who used to be my co-host, and the shit that went on in Facebook was pretty entertaining. But as a whole, I don't know. I don't really, give or take. I don't care. PBS. Now, it's weird because PBS, in my eyes, is definitely the lower tier of Cartoon Network and Nickelodeon. But I had an absolute, like, comfort show with Arthur much too late into my life. I watched Arthur religiously all the way up probably until, like, my first or second year of high school. I've never openly admitted that to anybody. It doesn't really matter, right? But, like, I loved Arthur, and it was just so comforting to watch it. I don't know why. Fuck you, Double D. Grips. I don't know what that is. Danimals. Smacked. Danimals were so good. Yogo Bites. I never had those. Fruit Roll-Ups are just like Gushers. They are still good. The Scholastic Book Fair. Man, nothing broke my heart more than coming home with those, like, colorful yellow papers with all the book fair shit and running up to my parents and be like, I want these books. And they were like, no, you're not going to read them. I'm like, no, it'll be different this time. And they're like, yeah, right. And they're right. I didn't start reading, like actually reading until like high school, maybe junior high. Dunkaroos are pretty good. You can still find Dunkaroos. They sell them at Five Below, if you guys are familiar with that store. Tamagotchis were cool. I feel like they're a little bit overhyped, but Tamagotchis were cool. Go-Gurts, yeah, Go-Gurts are fucking dope. Nesquik chocolate milk. I mean, it's still around. It's all right. Animals frosted cookies. Yeah, these are good. Those were great. Circus cookies. Bratz. Never got into those. What is this? Beyblade. Listen, Beyblades were so cool, and I just didn't have anyone who had Beyblades. I got Beyblades and would play by myself because I'm a fucking loser. And it was a blast. You know what's not on here that I just noticed? It's a big fucking disappointment. What about, you guys might have to help me in the comments. They were, gosh, I'm trying to think. So they were like Lego-esque toys, and they came in like a cylinder, like holder, and they were like these weird, like cool robot warrior dudes. God, what were they called? But yeah, I loved those. And like, you'd have to build them. That was like the fun part. And then when you build them, if you did it right, they would have like gears where you could twist little knobs and they would like swing their sword and move their body and shit. If you know what I'm talking about, comment it, because it's going to drive me nuts until I figure it out. I don't know what this little pink thing is. Tech decks. Dude, I love tech decks. They were so fun. Razor scooters. Yeah, I mean, I think Razor scooters are a double S tier for a lot of people. I had Razor scooters, and dude, I used to mob my little neighborhood day and night on my Razor scooter and my bike. Yu-Gi-Oh! Yu-Gi-Oh! Is amazing. I can get into a lot about that. Yu-Gi-Oh! Is a lot of fun. RuneScape was pretty prominent in my life. World of Warcraft should be on here too, because that's definitely in early 2000s, but that's okay. RuneScape was a lot of fun. If you know, you know. Beanie Babies, I have and had a lot of Jesus Christ. Thanks for the follow. We're not live, but it's just set up to do that if I'm on here. So, cool. Shout out to you. I had and have a lot of Beanie Babies I grew up with. Some of the stories around my Beanie Babies are personal, and they bring back some family nostalgia of people who no longer are with us, but I love Beanie Babies. Newground Games. Listen, if you know, you know. Those were the fun flash games, like the prerequisites to mobile gaming. Like, there was so many fun games on there. DeviantArt. We'll just say we don't know. Cool Math Games, I don't know. Habbo Hotel, I don't know. Skype was okay. I never got big into Skype. I know that there was a lot of shit on there, but it really wasn't me. And this pink thing, I don't know. So yeah, this is my tier list of nostalgia items. I hope you guys had fun watching this. I hope this brought back some memories for you. Let me know if there's things you agree or disagree with. Maybe you fucking love Neopets and you think Shrek is stupid. Let me know. Thank you guys so much for watching. Like always, I'll catch you on the next one. Have a great rest of your day. Peace.